Welcome to Seeking Tranquility in France. This is John, and I'll be reading my article, 45-Hour Rule, How Self-Employment in Europe Affects Early U.S. Social Security Benefits, Why Income Doesn't Matter and Hours Do, and How the Social Security Administration Enforces the Rule. It's probably a common strategy. Take early retirement, start receiving U.S. Social Security benefits before age 67, move to Europe, and supplement your income with some self-employed side hustle, for example, writing on Substack or getting monetized on YouTube. It makes sense, but there's a little something called the 45-hour rule that could undermine your plans if you're not careful and informed in advance. Rules on continuing to work while receiving Social Security benefits. If you've done your homework on Social Security in general, you're probably aware that when you retire under the full retirement age of 67, the Social Security Administration applies an earnings rule that can reduce the near-term amount of your Social Security benefit. The rule is as follows. You can get Social Security retirement benefits and work at the same time. However, if you are younger than full retirement age and make more than the yearly earnings limit, we will reduce your benefits. Starting with the month you reach full retirement age, we will not reduce your benefits no matter how much you earn. We use the following earnings limits to reduce your benefits. If you are under full retirement age for the entire year, we deduct $1 from your benefit payments for every $2 you earn above the annual limit. For 2026, that limit is $24,480. In the year where you reach full retirement age, we deduct $1 in benefits for every $3 you earn above a different limit, but we only count earnings before the month you reach your full retirement age. If you will reach full retirement age in 2026, the limit on your earnings for the months before full retirement age is $65,160. You might see this referred to as the $24,480, $65,160 rule. It ceases to apply once you've reached age 67. But does this apply if you're under age 67, self-employed and living in France or any other country of the European Union for that matter? The answer is that it doesn't, because of the following circumstances. Your self-employment earnings in Europe are not covered by U.S. Social Security. That is, your income is not subject to FICA payments. Rather, you are probably paying contributions to a European social welfare system instead. And you are subject to a tax or a totalization agreement between your European state and the United States. Instead, the Social Security Administration applies a foreign work test, which it describes as follows. It is a separate retirement test that applies to beneficiaries, other than those entitled because of a disability, who work in employment or self-employment outside the U.S. that is not covered by the U.S. Social Security system. This test is based only on the amount of time during which the beneficiary is employed or self-employed. It is not based on the amount of the beneficiary's earnings or losses. The foreign work test was intended to make it unnecessary to convert earnings in a foreign currency into earnings in specific dollar amounts. This is where the 45-hour rule comes into play. When the Social Security Administration Handbook refers to, quote, the amount of time during which the beneficiary is employed or self-employed, end quote, they are talking specifically about 45 hours in any given month. And if your effort exceeds 45 hours, your monthly Social Security benefit will be withheld for that month. This doesn't mean that you lose that money, just that its payment will be suspended and your benefits recalculated once you reach the full retirement age, which is currently 67. But if your personal budget is counting on that Social Security benefit to pay your bills, losing it for a month could be an unpleasant surprise. So how do you avoid the 45-hour trap? So if you've got a modest self-employed work activity but depend on that monthly Social Security payment, you need a strategy for avoiding a suspension of benefits. The first thing is to understand what gets counted when reckoning your monthly hours. You should count time on all activities related to your business. Creative work, such as time spent writing or creating other saleable outputs, time spent with clients, marketing activity, bookkeeping and other management activities, and so forth. My suggestion would be that you maintain a ledger or logbook that can substantiate your hours should you be called upon to report details to the SSA. Note that passive income generated from prior work will not be counted. For example, if you're an author and earn royalties from your past published works, this would be regarded as passive income and not fall under the 45-hour rule. The next thing to be mindful of is how your time spent working is reported. The Social Security Administration requires filing of its Form SSA 7163, Questionnaire about Employment or Self-Employment Outside the United States, to report one's working hours. If the Social Security Administration determines that you are engaged with employment in another country, they will contact you to require a completion of the form, providing a 60-day deadline for compliance, after which Social Security benefits payments might be suspended. One should, however, file the form proactively, as soon as one commences work. Therefore, the form should be updated when the number of hours worked per month invalidates the hours previously reported. So, if your usual work week is 35 hours, but in another month you work exceptionally 60 hours, you must file an updated report before you receive and accept benefits for the second month after you worked. So, for example, if you previously filed Form SSA 7163 and it indicates that you work for 35 hours a month, but in January 2026 you worked 60 hours, you must report this change before you receive your benefit for March, and the benefits payment for March will then be suspended. The form can be filed with the U.S. Embassy or consulate of your European country of residence. So to wrap things up, forewarned is forearmed, as they say, and if you depend on receipt of your full Social Security benefit every month, you'll want to generally work fewer than 45 hours monthly. On the other hand, if your finances allow, missing some benefits payments won't hurt you in the long run, as your eventual benefits recalculation at age 67 will likely see an increase over your previously reckoned amount. No matter your strategy, just be careful to maintain credible records that document your time spent working, and update your Form SSA 7163 when circumstances demand. Thanks for listening.